Twitters from the Atlantic by Barrie Mahoney. Getting into hot water. Listening to the UK Prime Minister and the Energy Minister's attempts to help consumers with their fuel bills this year brought a mixture of indignation, amusement, and indeed cynicism from many UK consumers. Some would say that the issue cannot truly be resolved simply by endlessly switching energy companies and tariffs, together with the odd role of loft insulation. Many have commented that these regurgitated suggestions are akin to a sticking plaster being offered to a dying patient. Energy experts tell us that the root cause has more to do with the rising cost of oil, greater demand for energy from China and India, diminishing oil supplies, the financial crisis, as well as the excessive profiteering made by greedy energy companies operating within a distorted market. The problem of rising fuel bills will take much more than a one-day meeting chaired by the PM, slick pen press conferences, and bright orange publicity posters to drag this particular patient from his death throes. So how about green energy and renewables? Dare I even mention wind turbines for fear of Middle England writing yet another petition against them and complaining in the Daily Hate? Politicians of all shades appear to describe the cause. Task forces are set up to produce endless policy documents about the subject, whilst others are happily considering drilling for shale oil, together with the associated risks of poisoning water supplies, as well, of course, as having another go at blowing up Blackpool in the process. Yes, that minor earthquake reported a few months ago was not natural and was apparently due to initial drilling for shale oil in the area. Some 30 years ago, I had friends in Dorset who had the good sense to install 4 solar panels to the roof of their bungalow. In those days it was considered unusual, if not a little eccentric. However, our friends persevered and used the hot water provided by the sun for most of the year, topped up occasionally by an immersion heater when there was a sudden demand for consecutive hot baths, for example when visitors came to stay. If it works in Dorset for most of the year, then why not the Canary Islands? The Canary Islands are at the forefront of solar technology, and Spain itself is a pioneer in solar power development. Our climate is ideal, as the Canary Islands are one of the most highly exposed sun regions of the world. There are currently solar projects subsidised by the Canary Islands government and fully backed by the government of Spain. However, I see very few solar installations on either domestic or business premises in the Canary Islands, and I don't understand why this is. Several years ago, we were interested in buying a new property in Gran Canaria. I think it came with the option of fitted solar panels as an extra. I discussed this with the builder, who, although anxious to complete the sale, was less enthusiastic about fitting solar panels. According to the builder, solar panels cause considerable problems after installation because of the high use of desalinated water on the island. He claimed it led to corrosion. Now, I'm not an expert on solar technology, but I do know enough to recognise that there are different types of panels for different purposes and conditions, and it's merely a question of selecting the right one for the job. Until the last few years, electricity bills were not a great concern in the Canary Islands, and energy prices in Spain were lower than that in many other countries. Cooler nights in February usually result in lighting a few candles for a little additional warmth, and we'd think we'd had a harsh winter if we switched on our electric radiator for more than a few evenings. However, air conditioning is another matter, and high consumption soon results in a very large bill. Energy prices have since rocketed for all of us in recent years, and we need to take energy issues much more seriously by fully utilising our natural green resources, such as the wind, waves and the sun. Maybe our politicians should focus less on sticking plaster policies and expensive switch publicity campaigns, and much more on actually solving a developing problem. If you enjoyed this Twitter, have a look at my website, www.barrymahoney.com. And thank you for listening.